Leviticus 23:2. Because you said something right now. You're supposed to worship, but the Bible uses a different word, right? Watch this. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord.
So this is going to go into what? The holy days of God, right? We talking about the Sabbath. That's a holy day, right?
Yeah.
So watch this, verse 3.
Verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
So we talking about the Sabbath, right? Resting on the Sabbath. Let's see what that rest is supposed to look like. Read that.
And holy convocation.
A what?
And holy convocation.
It said it was a holy convocation. Do you know what it means to have a holy convocation?
Not exactly.
So convocate means assembly. It means get together. Yeah. It's like congregate.
Right.
So guess what? A part of keeping the Sabbath is congregating with like-minded individuals, right? So if you might be keeping the no buying, no selling, right? No cooking, right? But guess what? You gotta congregate.
Right.
So are you doing that? Are you getting together with brothers?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I haven't really found nowhere to worship.
You haven't really found nowhere to worship?
Most churches on Sunday, so I don't go.
Okay, well, all praises. Guess who you just rode across? You rode across the prophets of God.
Yes,
These
right.
are the brothers that you want to come and congregate with. Right? And we're going to go through all that information, but right now, we're talking about what you need to do to make sure that you are living up to your name. Right? Give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Bring it out.
Because you said it, but I want to get it out the Bible for you. We are not the pastors that roll in these churches.
I know, I follow you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say something and not prove it.
Right.
That's not biblical. Watch this, read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read
And
it out.
now, Israel.
And now who?
Now, Israel.
Who's that talking to? Who's that talking to? When it says Israel, who is it speaking to? Is it speaking to everybody? Us. Who's us? The blacks, Spanish, and Native Americans.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. So the Bible is speaking to us right now. It says, now Israel, what?
What does the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does God what?
Require of thee.
So a part of being an Israelite, guess what? You have requirements, right? What are those requirements?
But to fear the Lord thy God.
You got to fear him.
To walk in all his ways.
Like you said, keep the commandments, read.
And to love him.
And love him.
And to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
How is this summarized?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
To do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
What's the requirement of an Israelite?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
Guess what? You know who you are. What is your requirement? That's your job, dude.
Right.
That's
Right? When you get a job and they tell you you got hired, don't they give you a job profile, a job duty? Guess what? This is the job duty that God gave you. So guess what? You have to make sure that you are fulfilling your job duty.
Right.
So now you know, guess what? On the Sabbath, I got to get with brothers. You can step down and live on this concrete. I got to get with brothers, right? That's going to be like-minded, that we're going to go through the laws, right? Because that's what we're going to do to correct you, right? Because we're going to keep going into these laws, right? So now let me ask you a question. You ever heard of these?
Yeah, friends.
Fringes? Okay, you got some on?
No, I don't.
You don't got none on. You know that's a law?
Yes, I do.
Okay, where can I find that law?
I don't know exactly what I know.
That's all right.
I learned it from you guys. I follow you guys.
All praise to the Most High. So if you knew about it, let me stop right here. If you knew about it, right? What is taking you to get it put on? What's the hurdles you're trying to go through to get it on?
Well, I can't. I mean, I just haven't did it. I don't.
You just haven't did it?
Yeah, I know I should do it.
You should give me Psalms. Give me that what David said.
119.
Psalms 119.
59.
59. Give me that. That's a heavy point you just said. You said you know to do it. It's not nothing really holding me back.
Right,
But I just ain't get it done yet.
Bring it out.
What would you call that in the world?
Bring it out.
What would you call that in the world? If I had homework and I'm like, I know it's due tomorrow, I just ain't gonna do it till tomorrow.
Right, yeah.
It starts with a P. Procrastination.
Right.
Procrastination, brother.
Bring
So
it
guess
out.
what? We cannot procrastinate when it comes to God's laws. Watch what David said. Watch this, read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 59.
Bring it out!
I thought on all my ways.
So Stevie, you gotta take this on. You gotta think on what you're doing right now. Does it line up to the job duty that God gave you? Yes or no? So you gotta think on your ways, right? Once you acknowledge what's going on, then here's the next step.
And turn my feet unto thy testimony.
And do what?
And turn my feet unto thy testimony.
So guess what? You know you thought on your ways, it don't line up with what God has set up for me.
Right.
So guess what? Now you have to do what? You got to adjust.
Yes.
You got to fix that thing, right?
Yes, right.
But here's the key point, right? Because it's not on our time, right? Watch this.
I made haste.
You did what?
I made haste.
Nah, he procrastinated.
I made haste.
Nah, he just ain't really get to it yet.
I made haste.
David said when he fell off, he made haste
Right.
to get back. What does that mean? When you make haste to do something.
I mean that you,
When something is done hastily.
like you wait,
No.
you know it, but you don't.
The opposite. Haste meaning quickly.
Oh,
Quickly.
oh, okay.
I'm diligently,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm going to make haste. I'm going to do it quickly
Okay.
because I'm already not abiding in what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because what happens when you go outside of God's laws? Do
Bring it
you know
out.
what it's called?
Not exactly.
You don't know what it's called? What did the churches say? Starts with an S, huh?
Sinning.
Sinning,
Yeah.
right? Give me that from 1 John 3 and 4.
Bring it out.
We're going to show you because this is important, right? Because a lot of our people that quote unquote believe in God, they don't pay attention to the nuance of the Bible, right? Where it says you got to do something, that means you have to do it or there's a consequence.
Bring it out.
Right? Our people don't entertain that second half. They're just like, oh, I just don't got to do it.
Right.
There's always a consequence, right? Read it.
Book of 1 John,
Uh-huh.
chapter 3 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Whosoever committed sin,
Committed what?
committed sin,
Uh-huh.
transgresseth also the law.
It says when you are committing a sin, you are transgressing the law. Do you know what it means to transgress something?
That means going against the law.
Thank you. Thank you. That's definition of transgression. Yes, sir. To go against or break it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you commit a sin, you break God's laws.
Right.
In your case, what law are you breaking right now that we
Not
just brought
wearing
up?
my fringes.
Not wearing your fringes. So what would you be in?
I'll be in sin.
You would be in sin. Watch this. Read.
For sin
Uh-huh.
is the transgression of the law.
Because sin is when you break the law. Now, what is the judgment for sin? Okay, damnation. That's down the line. That's when your spirit gets sent to the lake, right? You don't want that for sure. No, matter of fact, that is the main thing you don't want. I'm glad you said that.
Right.
But watch this. Give me that in Romans 6:23. Because you are absolutely right. That damnation. You said it, bro. Because a lot of our people, they living right now. They're like, oh, I might get hit by a bus, or oh, I might get shot.
Right.
No, that's not what you should worry about. You should worry about where your soul is going after you get shot.
Bring it out.
Is you gonna go back to the Father? Is you going to the lake? Do you want to go to the lake? You don't want to go to the lake. Watch this. Read.
Romans 6 and verse 23.
Bring it out.
For the wages of sin,
The wages of what?
the wages of sin.
The wages. Remember we talked about a job, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to your job, what do you get at the end of the week?
get wages.
You get wages. Why? Because you worked for
Yeah,
it, right?
right, yeah.
So your wages, when you commit sins, what you finna get paid with is what?
Is death.
Is what?
Is death.
And that's talking about that lake we was talking
Right.
about. That's talking about eternal damnation.
Right.
Yes, you will get put to death in this life
Bring it
for
out.
sins, but guess what? You want to worry about the death after the death.
Right.
What's going to happen to your spirit, right? So that's why you want to come back and you want to start applying these things. You don't got time. I'm going to tell you straight up. I don't got time.
Right.
All these men, we don't got time, bro.
Right.
We don't. Sirach 5. Is that Sirach 5 and 7?
Yes, sir.
Give me Sirach 5 and 7 and we're going to move on. But we don't have time, bro. None of us got time. We got to get it out of our head that we got time. I got tomorrow. You don't even know if you got 10 minutes from now, bro.
Right.
You know,
Bring
you
it
can
out.
leave here, walk across the street, wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
But guess what? It was the right place and the right time.
Bring it
But
out.
you got the time right now to get right. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
So make no tarrying. That means don't procrastinate. What did David say? I made haste.
Right.
Get to it. You know to put your fringes on. So guess what? Your next step should be when the Sabbath is done, who can I pay to go put these fringes on if I don't know how to do it myself?
But that's one of the reasons why I don't know where to get.
So listen, like I said, after the Sabbath,
Yeah.
right? But look, you can go to laundromats.
Oh, okay.
You can go to cleaners.
Okay.
These little Asian cleaners. They'll stitch that stuff on you for you.
Okay.
You got tailors all around the city.
Right.
You don't gotta wait, bro.
Okay.
Check it out. Just look into it. Watch, read.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And put not off from day to day.
Don't do what?
And put not off from day to day.
That's what we talking about, right? You thinking I could just put it off till tomorrow. I'ma just fornicate one more time and I'ma change tomorrow. I'ma smoke this last blunt and I'ma change tomorrow. You don't know if you're gonna make it to that next day. That's why it's saying you gotta do it now. Don't make it don't have no tarrying, right? Read.
For suddenly,
For when?
for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth.
It said for suddenly. So you in the midst of putting stuff off day to day, right? Thinking that tomorrow I got the chance to get right. I'm gonna do what I want today because I'm gonna change tomorrow.
Bring it
but
out.
He said for suddenly the wrath of the Lord is gonna come upon you. That's what I was just talking about. You leave here, you think you got time to get it right, you dead 10 minutes later. That's why it says you need to make haste, bro. Don't got time. You don't know when your life gonna end. So you want to end on the right page with God.
Right. And in thy security, thou shalt be destroyed.
And in thy security, thou shalt be destroyed. That security is going into that mindset of yours. You understand me? Everything we just read, that's the mindset of security. Tarrying, right? Thinking you can put it off day to day. You secure that you got that time. But guess what? In the midst of you thinking like that, what did it say?
In thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance.
And you're going to perish in the day of vengeance, which is going back to that lake, right? So my brother, when it comes to these fringes, when it comes to whatever law you already know.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because you say you watch us, right?
Yeah, right.
So what law you already know, you got to make sure that you start doing that.
Yeah,
that's right. And yesterday.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation